and record. So my name is Holly and my friend Vicki. We're going to present to you guys on gut health tonight and how it relates to brain health as well. And our idea is that eventually we'll do a class mostly on brain health and maybe a little bit of gut health sprinkled in. So this is the version of gut health with a little bit of brain health sprinkled in. Okay. All right. So here we go. So we're going to tell you about five Young Living products tonight, but you know, I'm a homeschool teacher, so I'm going to ask questions. I'm not going to browbeat you to answer, but I'd love to hear from you. So I want to hear your thoughts on things. So my first question is this. Since we've all been spending more time at home, maybe thinking about things or trying to find things to do, or maybe reading or putting puzzles together or cleaning things out or whatever, my question is, what have you guys done that has been kind of a maybe a health improvement thing? Maybe you're walking more, or maybe you tried a new food. Anyone got one for us? Go ahead and unmute yourself, or you can type it in the chat box. Ooh, Christy, you bought an inversion table. How's that going?
I did. Well, I just used it for the first time today. And if anybody knows anything about them, you're supposed to do baby steps. So I was only on it for maybe like that much of an angle, like 30 seconds. But those 30 seconds made a big difference. Also gave me a headache, which they said it would do. So I'm excited, but I can already feel a difference. It's so weird. I had no idea how much of an impact it would be.
Oh, wow. That's cool. That's cool. Julie says she's meditating more. Marsha Myers says she's walking more. Andrea is saying she's got more sleep. Sparkle says she's using her Instant Pot. I just had an Instant Pot conversation with a friend of mine about making beans and rice in Instant Pot. Have you made beans and rice in Instant Pot? So easy. Like you never buy canned beans again. Yeah. Did I miss anybody? Stretching more too. Yep. You'll be amazed. It's like the first time you make eggs in the Instant Pot and you steam them and you're like, what?
I can't type fast enough, but I usually, as a teacher or a staff person at a school, you're walking. I put in like 5,000 steps a day between going from here to there to this classroom. So being at home, I'm like the stationary thing. I'm like, whoa, my clothes are not happy. So I bought a desk pedaler. And so while I'm doing virtual classrooms, I pedal and interpret at the same time so that I can still get in my steps.
That's good.
But I just felt like I feel my body is like, I'm like, oh my gosh. And trying to find the time so that I can go for a walk was not happening. So I'm like, oh, well, nobody knows. I'm like pedaling as I'm working.
That's excellent. Yeah. It's a great way to figure out like, okay, I'm going to be sitting here. I might as well be doing something.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yes. My husband just got a stand-up desk and he's going to get one of those treadmills. Little treadmill things that you walk on. I said, that's a great idea.
So the hot thing in this area is so Northern Virginia, y'all, you know, is the Peloton bike. Am I saying that right? I have a friend that got one and she's like, it's so cool. I'm like, yeah, you better use it because you paid so much for it. But she's like, it is really the neatest thing. So she's indoors, so she can use it, whatever. So I've been working in my yard and I've been cleaning my house and basically like we're just like decluttering like crazy because thank God my husband has been able to work from home for most of the time. Very, very, very grateful for that. So I'm hearing about Instant Pot, but I didn't hear about new foods. And we're going to be talking about digestive health tonight. Just once upon a time, I went to a naturopath and he told me, you need to be eating greens. And I was like, green what? Isn't that like broccoli? I got that. He goes, no. Leafy greens. I had no idea how in the world to fix these things. They reminded me of my grandmother who used to have them like super boiled and just sitting on the table and they were bitter and anyway, part of that. but he's like, you really, I'm telling you, you need to do this. You're missing so much health benefits. So I started doing it, and I actually found that I got a little addicted to it. And I thought, what is this? What is this? Why am I addicted to kale? And this is before kale got like the big popular, reputation that it has these days with paleo and so forth. Yeah. So multigreens. Yeah, I could have done that. I should have told that doctor. But anyway, and now I try to find a way to put leafy greens in all kinds of things. My favorite is putting it in scrambled eggs in the morning, because I can get like 2 cups of spinach or any other kind of greens. I've been adding in dandelion greens, yes, from my yard, and not where the dogs go to the bathroom or that have been sprayed by anything ick. But dandelion greens, excellent for your brain health. Okay, so if you follow Dr. Mosconi, she's one of my favorites. She's great on women's brains. She's really into this, like, that's one of her superfoods is dandelion greens. But it's easy to add things like that to our diet. If you're using an Instapot, you can add those leafy greens in, and it's going to be great for your digestion. So that's just my little foodie tip. I'm not a foodie, but I wanted to know what we were all kind of doing. We were doing something new, trying things out. That's one of those things that I think is really important for our digestive system, is getting enough of that fiber and all those wonderful nutrients that are in leafy greens. So one of the things I've been doing during this time is I restarted my garden, and I'm growing lettuce, and we've had somewhat of a cooler early summer here in Virginia, and my lettuce is going crazy. I'm like, why did I never do this before? So that being said, we might give you guys some recommendations tonight, and they might be like, really? But you may find if you put them into business, like you put them to work, you'll be thinking, why did I never try that before? And what a difference it's made. So hopefully we'll give you guys some things that you haven't tried before, or maybe help you make some connections, because this is about gut and brain connection. So on that note, what is gut health, you guys? What does that mean? First of all, what is your gut? Sounds like you're reading some kind of preteen boy or elementary school boy gross joke book or something. What is your gut? Anybody, can you guys tell me? Stomach, intestines. Yep. The GI tract, right? Gastrointestinal tract. Your digestive system, simply that. Yeah. So it just seems kind of trendy to talk about gut health. It's a trendy phrase. So there he is. So we have to define that. Sparkle says bad gut health is the beginning of something, and I can't see the rest of it. Sparkle, let me hear your beautiful voice and tell us that. You don't have to type because I can't see. Sickness. Gut health is the beginning of sickness. What do you guys think about that? That's kind of what we're going to talk a little bit about that and how you can kind of give it some preventive maintenance. Okay. So if someone says you have healthy digestion, it sounds like 5th grade hygiene class, right? Or 5th grade health class. I mean, it's not the hygiene class. Like what does that mean? Healthy digestion. And you can give any kind of answer to this from the 5th grade boy answer. Yes, pooping lots. That's what I was looking for. You poop well? That deserves a clap. You poop well. It sounds like when our children were like 3. No, really. It's true. That's good. Yeah. Okay. So, pooping after each meal. I've heard after different schools of thought about that. I'm not going to debate pooping, you guys. It's, let's just keep the engine going. I'll just say that, right? So to improve that function, we want to eat those leafy greens, or we want to figure out some things that are going to help us move along like that. As you get older, your digestive system, as well as other systems in your body, are not working like they were when you were 16 years old, right? So we're going to try to give it some preventive maintenance. We're going to give you guys some suggestions for that. A lot of the things that happen when we get older, it's about the absorption of our food and the nutrients that are in that food. So if you're going to go like, I'm going to eat the kale, I'm going to eat collard greens, and I'm going to eat rhubarb or whatever else, okay? You're going to make the effort to buy food that's not processed, that's good quality stuff. Why would you waste your money if your body is not going to actually absorb that food, right? So you want to figure out, okay, so if I'm going to invest in this food choice, I want to get every loving bit out of this so my body can benefit. You guys have heard this about like supplements from random places, and you like, oh, I'm going to take this vitamin C, and then you really aren't even absorbing it because that vitamin C has got just kind of yucky filler ingredients, right? So you're just, as they say, people will flush their vitamins down the toilet, really, because they're not really absorbing it. Same thing with our food. So if we're going to spend that great money and say, look at all these things I have bought, and you come home from the grocery store, you might as well figure out how to get everything out of those things, right? Okay. So there's a situation you have in your body where 80% of what's in your immune system is coming from your gut, this whole area. Is that weird to you guys? Have you heard that before? That your 80% of your immune system is based in your gut? So what does that say? That says we better take care of it, right? It goes beyond just popping the vitamin C, you know, that kind of thing. So we're going to take care of it. So we're going to work on that communication system between our immune system. It's going to keep us healthy in our GI tract and what our brain is going to do. Okay. So yeah, Vicki, I studied this like, I don't know, a few years ago, but I even just for this class, there was some stuff I learned and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So have you guys ever heard of something called a neurotransmitter? There's different ones. The one we hear a lot about is dopamine. Serotonin is another one. You may hear people say that. I had a friend one time and she said, my family, we don't make enough serotonin in my, like, that's my genetic makeup. I'm not sure I agree with that, because really serotonin has to do with this, what's going on in the health of your gut and whether that serotonin can be produced well with what's all in there. Do you know, like, I gotta look at this number. Okay, hold on. I want to say it's 90%. Well, first of all, there are 100 million nerve cells lining your gut and intestinal tract. And these are responsible for producing 90% of serotonin. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? Maybe you're smarter than me. I did not know that. So if we're like, I'm just not feeling really great, I'm not feeling the love. I'm just not feeling, kind of depressed. I'm feeling yucky. I'm feeling anxious, whatever. The serotonin is just not firing off like the 4th of July for me. So maybe look and see what you've been eating. And is your body getting the fuel to create that serotonin in your gut? Is your brain able to tell your gut, hey, let's get up the serotonin factory going, okay? So see what's going on. There is something called the enteric nervous system. That's what these 100 million connections are between your brain and your gut. I just think it's neat. So you guys can look that up, the ENS. So we all know the CNS from high school, right? Central nervous system, but there is an enteric nervous system, and that has to do with our gut biology and all those neurotransmitters. Jennifer says, you guys will have to talk about, I can't see on my screen, and you guys are saying so many great things. Okay,
I just
so
comment saying that means that there are some people who suffer depression that they could notice a difference if they repair or improve their gut health.
yes, so you could try that first. I'm not saying it's the answer to everything,
No,
but it could be a simple thing.
Like trying all these things that alter other parts of your brain chemistry and make you feel something else, that this could be more of a natural way, even if it improves it some. All of us like to feel good, that's for sure. Nobody likes to feel blah.
Right. So it could be a simple fix, or at least one over time that you could give it a try.
Right.
So you guys know there's good bacteria and bad bacteria, two teams sort of like in your gut, kind of competing, and you're looking for a balance between these two guys. You don't want enough, you want to be able to feed that good bacteria, and you want the good bacteria to kind of always keep the bad bacteria in check, right? So the bad bacteria likes to eat, y'all not gonna like this, sugar. It likes to eat processed food, and it likes to eat alcohol, things like that. So all of those things, we're like feeding, you know, that saying about what are you going to feed? Are you going to feed the wolf, or are you going to feed the, I forget what the other one was, but like, what are you feeding? You're feeding the bad bacteria. Now listen, I love sugar just as much as anybody else. Chocolate all day long, probably not, but you know, I struggle with this too. But that's one of those things, if I know, okay, so is this worth the opportunity cost of me feeding the wrong team? It's like, you know, when you're a little kid and you're playing soccer and there's two goals, right? And so you get confused and you end up making a goal for the other team, and it's really embarrassing. So it's kind of what you're doing. If you're eating too much of those kinds of things, you're making a goal for the other team, right? It's not going to help you feel real good. So we're going to talk about how you're going to feed your good bacteria. So Vicki is going to talk about first an essential oil that's great for helping your digestion. You guys probably all know what it is, but you might be surprised. I don't know. So Vicki, you want to go ahead and tell us about this one?
Absolutely. So thank you. I just learned a few things from you already, and we're only a few minutes in. So I am going to talk about an oil, but first I want to talk about vitality oils and what the differences are in the labels. So I'm going to talk about DiGize because I have some powerful testimony myself about using DiGize. So does everyone, let me ask this before I go into too much. Is there anyone on right now that does not know what the white labels mean? It's okay, there's no judgment. Like, you can put your hand up, you can. Okay, so everyone knows that white labels are vitality, okay, and it means that we can ingest them. Okay. So there's also the same oil that comes in a solid label, DiGize. Is there any difference? No difference, okay? Same oil. So obviously Young Living had to comply with FDA and label things for ingestions, especially. Couldn't say that you could do all three, ingest, you know, aromatic use and topical use with one label. So this is the reason. What's also really important is that all the vitalities are non-GMO. I don't know if anyone realized that, but they're non-GMO. So, I mean, you may already realize that because if you love Young Living, you know it's the best. But I think it's important to know non-GMO. There are definitely some aromatherapists. Yes, Julie, me too. Me too. Changed my overall health. There are lots of aromatherapists, I should say, that warn you to not ingest oils ever. I don't know, has anyone heard that before? Okay. Is there anyone on here who has never ingested oils? And it's okay, again, there's no judgment. Okay. Okay, good. I don't have to go down that path too much, but when I was reading up on why aromatherapists say not to ingest, it was more than just, you know, certain oils could be adulterated, I mean, you know, and grown with pesticides. I mean, that's one piece, but the other piece was that people could overdo it with an oil. People could give an oil that shouldn't be ingested, like wintergreen, to somebody, or even like give too much of an oil to a little kid. So, you know, there were some reasons. But what's interesting is that we take in essential oils, every time we eat the plant. It could be like a minuscule amount. So if you're eating lemon, you know, there's like a minuscule amount. So that's sort of the part. So obviously, if you're going to ingest, basically anything you're going to do with oils, you're going to go slow, right? You're going to go low and slow, like one drop, and then see what happens, right? It's the same thing with ingesting. So as far as interactions with medications, or what your doctor might say. If there's any oil that we recommend or we're talking about, or another one that you read up that you want to ingest and you're on medication, I would definitely recommend that you talk to your doctor before you ingest, just to make sure there's no contradictions, how you say that word. It's a personal decision. I know lots of people who don't ingest. As far as my story with DiGize, I mean, obviously it has a whole blend of digestive supportive oils, ginger, now I'm trying to say it, tarragon, right? Ginger, peppermint, juniper, fennel, lemongrass, and a few others. Okay. So it's kind of common if you're a cook or if you grew up with a grandparent or mom who use these in their teas and whatnot for your digestive benefit. For me, I do not eat enough greens, Holly, even though I know better. And I was at the point where I couldn't eat a meal without, it doesn't matter what it was, could have been healthy, it could have been not healthy, without getting bloated, without my stomach blowing up to look like I was pregnant, like a food belly, like a food baby. And I also was getting heartburn terribly after every single meal. Didn't matter what I ate. So I just decided to take matters in my own hands. And for me, I don't like the taste of this, but what I did is I like to take it in a veggie capsule. So these veggie capsules I get through Young Living. The size is 00 if you're, wanting to know the size of them. And I take one before every meal. Here's the capsule. So what I do is I take DiGize. I usually put 2 drops in. Yeah. So Christy was saying that she puts this a drop under her tongue when she needs it, and that is another way to take it, is sublingual. Putting a drop under your tongue and then just holding it and letting it just soak into your system. That's one way. Another way is to put this in water. All those sound disgusting to me, so I just put it in a capsule so that I don't have to taste it. But I know lots of people who have no problem putting a drop in water and drinking it. So these capsules are good. I agree. So I put 2 drops, and then I put the top on, but you could top it with a carrier oil. So that could be coconut, that could be avocado oil, something that's preferably an organic, non-GMO, etc. vegetable oil. So you could top it with that, and I put the cap on, and then I take that. So I don't put a carrier oil. For me, this does not bother me. I don't burp it up. It doesn't bother me at all. And what it's done is that it absolutely has allowed me to eat food again. So like my whole life has changed as far as that goes, just by doing this before every meal. I've also done it where you can actually take this and put it on your belly. So putting it like in a clockwise motion around your belly button is another great way to get DiGize on you in your system. It's another way. I also wanted to show you my cute little contraption that I have. So I got this at some Young Living event or Oily event, and it's just a capsule holder. So I can put 3 capsules in there, and it holds them, and then I can just put my DiGize in for the day, and then put the top on. So you put the capsules in like this. You can also do this in rice. So if you had like a little bowl of rice, you could stick like 3 capsules in there, or even 21 if you're doing 3 meals times 7 days. Fill up with your carrier oil, put the tops on, and then you can freeze them. So you can't put them ahead of time. You have to freeze them, otherwise the oil will break down the capsule. But it's pretty cool because then you can prepare your supplement for the week if you're thinking of it like that. And I've done that before. Most days I just do it as I need it. And then you always have, if you have a dropper, you can always do this. Because I know some folks say that, this is like uneasy with your hand not being steady. So that is my DiGize story. Does anyone have a DiGize story they want to share?
I can share one. My husband has lots and lots of digestive issues because he is cross-contamination sensitive to gluten. And so eating out, even when it's gluten-free, it can be dicey. And sometimes, his digestive system is such because of that, for instance, eating chicken can be hard on him with the chicken fat. So his digestive trifecta that really helps to support his digestive system he does 4 drops. We started with 2, we worked our way up, but 4 drops each of Digize lemon and peppermint vitality oils. That is his trifecta, and it helps him tremendously. And so what used to lay him out for days, he's able to just help his body do what it normally does, which is heal, right? And he recovers so much faster now.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else before we move on?
Well, several people know my
Yeah.
story. That's kind of my husband's gateway oil. We started with he was taking a lot of medications for digestive type issues, heartburn, all these kinds of medications. So we made an agreement. I said 2 weeks, no medication, let's try oils. He said 2 days. So you work with what you have. And we started with 1 drop under the tongue, nothing. 2 drops, about 30 minutes later, we put 2 drops under the tongue, nothing. 3 drops under the tongue, he's like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit better. And then I contacted Marcia, and she said, stop torturing my husband and put it in a capsule. So she gave me a recipe that we started with. We ended up working with it and finding a formula because we needed to suppress the pain. His pain was so severe that he's actually had to go to the hospital thinking he was having a heart attack. So when he eats, he knows that if he eats certain things, it's going to cause pain, period. But he's very, very hard-headed, and he just says, I'm going to eat it because I really like it. Make me the capsule. But we ended up with 5 drops of Digize, lemon, and Copaiba was his fix it. So he would take that now when he's going to eat fried chicken or something of that caliber. He will take it, then he'll eat, rather than eating, waiting for pain, and then trying to fix it. So he's realized, and it took him a little bit of time before he realized, hey, if I take it first, I can avoid. If he just didn't eat it, he could avoid it, but we won't go there.
I did something very similar, Rochelle, with my parents and a very good friend of mine who are no longer taking certain things now. So that's great.
Yeah, my daughter-in-law was the same way. We went to go look at a wedding venue, and she goes, I'm gonna throw up. And she grabbed a book bag and she's throwing up, and I'm holding her hair, back, and it was just a mess. She said, yes, I'm in and out of the hospital because my esophagus is infected because I keep throwing up. And 3 weeks of putting Digize on the bottom of her toe, bottom of her foot where the stomach is, because she really can't stand the smell. 3 weeks later, she was no more throwing up. So it's a wonderful thing.
I don't know. I mean, stress always complicates things. It just, especially for stomach and gut. So as a mom, traveling is always stressful, like making sure the kids are packed, making sure the dog's packed, making sure this packed. So always before we go anywhere, I know for a fact, like my stomach's going to be a mess. And we always laugh about it because it's a big joke. It's like, oh, mom's going to be in the bathroom because I'm like, yeah, that's inevitable. So I don't know why I don't do it on a daily basis, but whenever we travel, I always have it, and I always have it right next to us in the car but I start to giggle now because my children, one gets car sick and one has very bad anxiety. So when we travel, it ramps it up. And so just recently we traveled, and he was like whispering to me like, do you think we can stop and you can get in your bag? And I was like, yeah, what do you need in the bag? He's like, the stuff. I need the stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like laughing. So I'm like, if anybody else overheard this conversation, they would think it was by far something else. But my family laughs because when I send them now, I send them with their own little like bag with little little bottles in it, and they know. Like my sister will call and she's like, I don't know, they're complaining of a stomach ache. She's like, they say that they have. I'm like, yes, she knows what to put on, or he knows what to put on, and they'll tell her, no, I roll it around my belly button, or I roll it on my feet. And she's like, is it okay? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But I don't know why I haven't. I don't know. I feel so silly right now, being like, I don't know why I don't take it every day. Why do I wait to be, when when the stomach swells up or my stomach hurts? Why don't I just use it every day and actually? I don't know why. One of those aha moments, like, you big dummy, like, use it every day, and then you don't have to worry about that after the fact. Like, well, let's fix it. Like, it does work, but it's almost too late. Like, I want to be proactive.
Don't feel bad. I was the same way. It took me like months to realize, oh, I should do this first. I was doing it afterward. So, yeah.
Well, for my husband, I made it very easy. So I took an empty Digize bottle and I added in about, 25 drops of Digize. For him, I added 25 drops of Digize, 25 drops of lemon, and 25 drops of Copaiba. Then I just labeled it that. And then he could just take that one bottle to work. Because if I sent him to work with 3 bottles, that ain't happening. So I sent 1 bottle and a little baggie of capsules. And then before he would eat lunch, and he went for a solid 2 weeks, and he took it before every single meal and every single snack, because he was in a tremendous amount of pain all the time. So once he started doing that, after a while, he found out he wasn't needing it as much. So, but again, I had to make it very simple for him. And the kids like it that way too, because they can just come and get 1 bottle and they just shake it and pour it.
So thanks for sharing, guys. I'm going to turn it over to Holly to talk about the next product.
Thanks. So I'm trying to, guys, we're trying to get paired on our time, and this is like one of our tests within the team of, anyway, so I'm like, okay, we got 4 things to go. So here we go. And I really love that you guys chimed in. That was awesome to be able to hear different people's experiences, and that's cool. Thanks for the capsule recipes and stuff. Good to know. So we're gonna talk about probiotics. Remember I talked about the soccer team don't score for the other team? Kind of embarrassing. So I'm gonna tell you how to score for your soccer team. All right, the good bacteria. So probiotics is it. Lots of probiotics on the market. Did you guys know that you can actually pick out special types of probiotics for whatever you want to achieve for your body, like whether it's weight loss or you're trying to clear up your skin, like if you're a teen or something and you've got bad acne. Let's say that you're trying to work on your immune system and so forth. So how do you pick which ones? Okay, I gotta look at my notes. So I know Latin, but I can't memorize this. So you want to look for species of things that sound like this. Okay, it should say this on the bottle. Lactobacillus, lacto meaning like milk, right? And bifidobacterium. Okay, I got an easy button now. If you look at Life 9, which is a Young Living product, the 9 is because it has 9 different species. Okay, it's what's called a broad spectrum probiotic. So it's probably going to be hitting one of those needs that you have. If you want to be real specific and go to Dr. Probiotic and find something really specific for you, absolutely you could do that. But if you're thinking, I just want a really good quality probiotic, this is it. I've kind of dabbled in this because I think it's really interesting, and I found that this is an excellent probiotic, at least for me. I think for lots of other people, because I've heard lots of great stories about how it's really helped them. I keep mine in the refrigerator. That's what Young Living recommends, and I take 1 at night, at least an hour after eating anything else. It's preferred to take it on an empty stomach so it doesn't have to compete with anything else. So basically you are as you're planting your garden, maybe in your yard, you're planting this in your intestines. Yay! So you're planting this good bacteria in your intestines to kind of create a gut balance between them and the bad bacteria that we all have let's just be honest. We all have bad bacteria. Okay. But this is a way to give some good bacteria planted in your intestine to give it a fighting chance. Okay. And start to heal up some of that gut flora, and to create a balance in your body. Okay. It's going to help you, let's just say, move things along. That's been my experience. Take it at night. You'll be very happy in the morning. Okay. Give it a try. So, I would say it's a very foundational, supplement. So it's one of those things. I know we have a huge catalog of supplements from Young Living, but this is one of those ones that, you know, if you're going to pick just a few, this would be number one, I think, besides Nixia Red. We're going to talk about that, but those two guys together, it's something for everybody. There's even one for kids, and it's not just for kids. It's called Mighty Pro for probiotic, and it can be taken anytime, and it tastes like Pixie Sticks. So if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, guess what? You can have a little flashback there. So it tastes just like a cherry Pixie Stick. Just be careful that your kids don't take them more than once a day because they taste that good. I keep mine in a little coffee mug down on my kitchen counter, and my kids, when they remember, let's be honest, they don't always remember, when they both love them. They're teenage boys, but they taste good to anybody. And that's going to be something that they can use. Now, I will say this, it's kind of weird, but there's a dog on the package. Okay, so one of the ingredients is xylitol, which is a no-no for puppy dogs. So just be careful. I don't know why we have a dog on there. So just be careful if you have a dog. You don't want to have your kid spill the Mighty Pro on the floor. Wouldn't be pretty, just so you know. But anyway, it's very convenient where you can do that and start working on that balance. See how that goes for you. And then you can add in other things. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to tell you about this. Oh, so we said 9 different species. Okay, so or strains, if you want to call it that, of 17 billion live active cultures are in, my computer screen just went blank. Oh my goodness. Of 17 billion live active cultures to support normal intestinal function for your overall immune system. You can take daily or at least 3 to 4 times a week at bedtime and empty stomach, like I mentioned, but without any other supplements, and you want to keep it in the fridge. Okay, so I don't know. Ooh, let me get this. How many you guys know I love Jen O'Sullivan? She's like my oil lady. So she has this book called Supplements, right? Actually, right now it is less than $5. It's a Aroma Share convention special for $4.95. Normally, I think it's like $15 or something, and I like this more than any of our other supplements literature. It talks about what all is in our products, and this one, as far as the probiotic Life 9, it tells you every single species that's in Life 9 and what it does. So remember, I was telling you some of them will help with weight loss. For some people it's helping with immune system, some with skin. So if you look it up, every single species for that particular probiotic, see what it has is, I'm trying to find it. I'm not going to find it, but in this book, you've got every single supplement, and it tells you everything in detail what's in that supplement. This one just happens to have all the bacteria and in Life 9. So let's see, what is next? We're talking about peppermint, right? That's next.
Yes, so we're talking about peppermint. And before I forget, because you were just, Holly, you just gave a really good reference book, which is that supplements book by Jen O'Sullivan. Another good reference material, sorry for all the, is the EO Bar app, the app. I don't know if everyone has this, but the EO Bar is that's Jen Sullivan's app, actually. So this is really awesome because it's right on your phone. And when I tap on it, I looked up peppermint just for us to talk about it. What's really cool is that you can look up every oil, look up every blend on this app. But what I love about it is it actually has this thing, it says recipes at the bottom. And for Peppermint Vitality, for example, there are all these different capsule recipes to support your body. including 2 digestive support capsule blends. And then there's more, the other supports, other body systems, but that is pretty powerful. And I think that that's pretty cool resource. I just wanted to mention that. So why are we talking about peppermint? Besides the obvious, you know, it sounds like everyone on here is a well-versed oiler, or not a novice anyway, but peppermint has also made a huge change in my life as well. So it has anti-spasmodic properties, which is releasing the muscles in your digestive tract. That's how it works. So whether you ingest it, I don't have the Vitality version, but it comes in a Vitality version. I buy it in the big guy because it's just it's better bang for your buck, you know, to get the big, and we use it so much in so many ways, but so it relaxes the muscles in your digestive tract, whether you take it internally in a capsule, whether you take it in a glass of water, in tea, or if you, even for me, the way I use it often is I put it on topically. So I mentioned that I've been having problems with indigestion and bloating and heartburn. But like right now, I'm going to be, as we were starting this webinar, I put this on my stomach. I put a drop or two, and I literally put it like high, you know, like up here, stomach, like right below the sternum, because I haven't eaten dinner. And so if I don't eat, I get heartburn. So anyway, this is already taking care of it. But I also have used this for nausea. So it's not digestive system per se, but it is your stomach. And I just put a drop in my palm and breathe it in, and that takes care of nausea. And then my daughter has a very recent story about using this for her digestive system. This is another way.
Okay, so hi, I'm Bella, and like recently I was constipated because for some reason, and so I couldn't go at all. So my mom found this trick out that you put peppermint, like 1 or 2 drops in the toilet, sit on the toilet and do, you know, what you need to do, and then it really works, because I did that like recently and it worked.
Thanks.
Bye.
So anyway, if you didn't know, that is a trick. And it helps a lot. Anyone have any peppermint stories?
So as some of you may know, peppermint, if you went to convention with me where we had to drive for a while at some of the rallies, peppermint is a must-have because I get car sick, especially if I'm not driving. I don't know what it is. I can drive and I'm fine, but if I'm riding, and especially if I'm riding in the back, I become unbelievably sick. So I have to carry it. I have to smell it. Sometimes I have to put it in my water. Sometimes if I don't, want to put it in my water because it is kind of strong, I'll put it on my hand and just lick it. It is a must-have. And I had to do work going from here to North Carolina, 5-hour trip. And my husband was like, we are not stopping every 30 minutes for you to pull off and be sick. I'm like, nope, we're going to be good. So we had the diffuser running in the car. I had the peppermint on me in the bottle, and I was able to actually work for approximately 4 hours on our 5-hour trip without having to pull over to be sick.
It's awesome.
So it is a must-have all the time in my purse.
All right, Holly, you want to talk about our last supplement or last product?
I had to mute myself because I was having like some dachshund issues outside the door. They were barking about who knows what. Okay, so our last one is Ningxia Red. You guys have any clue, maybe an idea of why we picked this one for a digestive webinar? Anyone? Okay, so what's in Ningxia Red? Goji berries, right? Or wolfberries. Which one is it? Are they the same? So goji berries come from India. And Ningxia berries come from the Ningxia province of China. So they're related, kind of cousin-y, I guess. But that's the difference. You can see goji berry. I've actually seen things that look just like our Ningxia wolfberries at Wegmans. So, I mean, they're around, but that's the difference. It's just where they're grown. Okay. But why is this a digestive supplement? I mean, we know it's great stuff. We love it. It's great for just about anything. And the taste is wonderful. And I just realized I haven't had mine today, so I'm going to enjoy that after this webinar. I keep mine in the refrigerator. You can even keep them in the freezer for popsicles. But what it is, the reason why it helps with digestive health is the fiber that's in those wolfberries is almost like, well, it's like a prebiotic for those good bacteria I was talking about. It's food for them. So there's lots of things like fermented foods, kombucha, and things like that that will help feed those good. I know I didn't know it either, Christy. I just figured it out. Like I was researching this. I'm like, oh, that's why. So that's also probably why with some people, they will find that they have a little bit of a boost to their weight loss routine. If they're working on weight loss and they're taking in Ningxia Red on the regular, they're finding that the fiber in that is helping to kind of clean out this icky back bacteria in their intestines. So yeah, makes your body a lot. So there you go. But I thought that was kind of cool. So here's another reason to love Ningxia Red. Let me make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Oh, here's something. So it's cleansing toxins with what's in it. It's not only helping you with your immune system, but it's getting out a lot of the stuff that would cause you problems to begin with. The pectin that's in the fruits that are in Ningxia Red with the Ningxia berry, that's what's cleaning you out as well. So you have fiber and you have something that's acting on those toxins. That's kind of cool, I think. Let's see. Oh, this is one thing I did not know. So as far as brain health, it contains something called, I'm probably not going to say this right, betaine, maybe? The reason why it's important, because that is what the body takes as a raw ingredient and it converts it to choline. Do you guys know, just off the top of your head, no pun intended, what choline, what the importance of choline is for your brain? Okay, it's something that's why you want to have a regular addition of farm fresh eggs, like these, chickens running amok in the field. There's such a high amount of choline in those eggs, so it's recommended that if that's something that you like to eat, and that you're eating like eggs from happy chickens, that choline is helping to feed your brain, and it helps to enhance your memory and recall activity. Some people say that it helps against forming plaques, the amyloid plaques in your brain, but that remains to be seen. But everybody needs memory and recall activity on the regular, right? So I didn't know that about Ningxia Red, that it's even helping with that. So we have lots of things that we ingest in foods that our body says, oh yeah, I know what to do with that, and I'm going to convert it to this, but I might need this other piece from another food. And so it's almost like how rice and beans, you need the two of them together for a complete protein. This is one of those things where it's taking that raw substance, that betaine, I mean, because it's B-E-T-A-I-N-E. I'd never heard of it before, and it converts it to choline. So it's an awesome thing. Do you guys have any stories about Ningxia Red that you want to share? It was kind of weird when you first got it in your kit, right? You're like, what am I supposed to do with this? And your oil lady said, you just need to drink it. You just got to try it, right?
Oh, sorry. Who did I cut off?
Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I've been drinking Ningxia Red every day for 5 years now. I absolutely love it. But just recently, I started drinking what's called the red drink. And I'm taking 2 ounces of Ningxia Red and mixing it with ice and water, and then a scoop of the sulfurzyme powder. It's amazing. It is amazing. If you haven't tried it, you need to try it. It's great. I put it in like a big old mason jar, and it's just fantastic. I love how it makes me feel overall. So I love my Ningxia Red.
And I was going to share that my daughter, who you just saw, I used to share custody with her and her dad, and she'd only be with me about half the time and with her dad half the time. And so she took her Ningxia half the time, only half the time, and she took her Mighty Pro only half the time. And she was getting sick. It wasn't really, we weren't seeing the benefit. I'd see the benefit of her like mood be leveled when she was with me with the Ningxia and the blood sugar, but her immune system wasn't getting the benefit. But now that we've been together for a full year, 100%, and she takes Ningxia every day and her Mighty Pro every day, she has not been sick except for one day. And that is remarkable. So that's my testimony.
And we have found that the best bang for your buck as far as Ningxia Red, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking I got this right, is the ER bundle, right? Because then you're earning your points off of it, and it's a little bit of a savings. There's lots of charts that you'll see around, like if you bought the kit again, or the Ningxia kit, or if you bought it singles or whatever, that seems to be the best way to save the most money. I have a friend that takes it, and she's very frugal with it, because otherwise her husband was like coming in and taking the whole bottle. Was like, yeah, this is good stuff. And she's like, no. She puts it in ice cube trays. So that way she takes the bottles instead of packets, and she divides it up that way. And that way she can make it last as long as possible. So that's how she figures out how she does her ounces. So just an idea.
I usually buy the pack of 8 bottles, which is a lot, but I don't use the packets very often. So for me, the most cost-effective way is to buy the 8, because that's when you get the biggest price break. But if you travel, I buy that ER kit because I want those packets for travel.
Yeah, I will say as far as, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we get the ER packet too, but my son takes the packets when he travels, so it makes it easy. But we do it like that. So this is Ariana, this is Lauren and Sean, and the 6-ounce baby bottles are me and Bob. And if anybody's ever tasted the mineral essence, oh, it's tough to get down. So I put the Ningxia in here with the elderberry and the mineral essence. And of course I add my vitamin D, because we do that with K in a liquid. And then I can just add that into everybody's. And again, make it easy. Got to make it easy for everybody. We can sit and take 2 or 3 things and take care of it. But if I told my kids to go make sure you take your Ningxia and your elderberry and your vitamin D and they would be like, forget it, I'm out. So we do it like this, and everybody knows which 2-ounce, 4-ounce, 6-ounce, which size is theirs. And then I put a vitamin C capsule on top when I sit it out in the mornings. So everybody gets it, makes it easy, and I do 2 weeks at a time.
That's cool. And they're just little jars, little canning jars. That's cute.
They are baby food jars that I saved.
Okay.
My daughter was on baby food. But if you know somebody that has it, I'm all about reuse, recycle. I don't want to go buy anything. So I tried putting it in plastic Tupperware. No, because 1, it dyes it completely. And 2, I found over time it was hitting it. So I was worried that plastic was getting into the product. So I just started using the baby food jars. And again, like Ariana gets 1 ounce, where the kids get 2 ounces, and Bob and I, of course, get 2 ounces. We take it every day, especially now with everything going on. We take it every day.
Excellent. Well, you guys, those are our 5. So we had Digest, and we had Peppermint, right, for our 2 oils. We had Ningxia Red, and we had Life 9 and Mighty Pro. So we can go ahead, and if you guys have any questions you want to ask, our next webinar is next week. Which day is it again? Because I forget. Is it Wednesday? Okay, it's going to be Wednesday at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's going to be about women's hormones. And I am not an expert in this, but I am really looking forward to hearing from our team that's going to teach about that. So I just say, bring stuff to write down. We will have a handout for you guys on this class like we do for all of them, so you guys can be keeping that. Hopefully you're keeping all those good handouts that Julie makes on a folder on your desktop of your computer so you can reference them and go back to the things that we talked about. And we hope you guys learned some new stuff tonight. So I guess we want to go ahead and turn our recording off, right? And then we can go ahead and answer your questions.